My name is Yoshiaki Nohara, and this is my classmate and my fellow partner on this award process, Samantha Appleton. Marisa and Mark, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I'm so glad it's not snowing. I'm going to just state the few obvious things. Number one, I really like my classmates. I really do. I do. And I'm so proud of my class choosing you for this award. Marisa has been an investigative reporter at the Indianapolis Star for several years by now, and she has covered many important, very painful, stories. And one of the major projects that she and her colleagues did was obviously a series of investigative stories about Larry Nassar, which was a very important story. But during the course of the selection process, we did check this series of other stories too. So it's not just this single project, but she has a really strong track record of, delivering important, compassionate stories that everybody should pay attention to. And Sam is going to talk about the lasting impact of her stories.
Powerful journalism doesn't end on publication day, or even with the reporter's work on that subject. A truly impactful story travels through time. It radiates outward. It touches the past, the present, and the future. We now know the decades of abuse that Marisa so relentlessly and carefully chronicled. She's moving on, and she has created a safe space that moves on independently of her. That's not just great journalism, that's a social legacy. As recently as this very week, a woman came forward with her own story from thousands of miles away, and she cited Marisa's work. She may not even know her name, but Marisa was there in the piece. Dr. Alexandra Arce von Harald, a psychiatrist and activist, has accused former President and Nobel Peace Prize winner Oscar Arias of assault. This is from the New York Times just yesterday. Quote, she said that seeing women accuse powerful men like Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby of sexual harassment and sexual assault was inspiring. But it was watching the young gymnasts testify, one after the other, about the sexual assault by United States Olympic team doctor Larry Nassar that clinched her decision to come forward, end quote. And just this afternoon, I heard an interview with another of Arias's accusers, Emma Daly, a former Nieman affiliate, who said she too was inspired by these stories and felt a duty to report because of her ability to do so. So many women cannot report. As journalists in this room, we're honored to meet you. As a woman, I have my own Me Too stories, things that I would have kept buried for another 2 decades if not for this kind of investigative journalism. Journalism, the industry itself, is not exempt from abuse. I was 22 when I had my Me Too moment, which I haven't gone public about before, and I'm not going to tell the specifics tonight. But I was a young photographer, and it was someone superior to me, and I felt like a weak fool at the time. What Marisa's work has taught me is that predators don't prey on weak women, they often prey on ambitious women, women who want to succeed. Her reporting on women who are world champions, some of the most ambitious women in history, most successful women in history, taught me that lesson. I don't tell this personal story to unburden myself. I tell it because it highlights this fundamental shift in how we view abuse, survival, and repair. Lastly, I want to thank Marisa as a mother. Every parent in this room knows what I'm talking about. Because of her work, my daughter can participate in sports more safely. She can go to a job more safely. And there's a system and a legacy in place to support her should she need it. I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you.
So, but we should have practiced before, but I'm gonna be quick to finish this. So, I'm also a father, and I have a 4-year-old daughter. So thank you for your work, making a difference for, many countless children to come. And when our class chose you, Marisa, for this award for conscience and integrity in journalism, it felt right immediately to me that we made a right decision on the selection process, even though the process was not easy at points. And it took me a while to figure out why I felt that way. So I went back to your stories and reread all the stories again and thought about them for a while. They're great stories, not only the NASA coverage, but other stories, like a girl finding a family and home after more than 4,000 days in foster care. 4,000 days in foster care. It's impossible to not care after reading the story. And that occurred to me that one thing that's been consistent and demonstrated in your stories and in your reporting is that, your stories really evoke conscience and integrity among the people who read your stories, including myself, and I'm sure my classmates. That's why they make a difference, and they challenge us to do better. And that's why I had that feeling that it was a right decision. And that's why we chose you for this award. So we, Nieman Fellows, in the class of 2019, are honored to present you the Lyons Award for Conscience and Integrity in Journalism. Great work, Marisa, and congratulations.